Hello there, YouTube. How's it going? Last video I put up was kind of funny. It was me playing the random VM player who brought a bunch of warrior nuns to the battle and then quit. This is going to be a live battle, and I think if by Fall of the Samurai, and it's not looking like it's fixed because I do have the beta and the replays are still corrupt. If it's not gonna work, I'm just gonna do live battles and show you guys the results. So here I am playing someone actually from the Heirs Spears clan, and you can see my army is pretty actually a qualitative army, and I don't try this a lot, but I wanted to experiment a little bit on Shogun before we go. So you can see here I've got 4 Naginata warrior monks, 3 katana samurai, 2 yari cav, 2 attendants, Naginata attendants that is, and 2 warrior monks. And unfortunately, now that Shogun is sort of coming to its closing days, I've come to realize that I haven't really played it as much. Like, my warrior monks don't even have 200 range, so I mean, it's not too great. And I'm taking a look at my opponent's stats here, and in the overall tab, you're going to see that his win-loss ratio is pretty damn good. It's a little bit over a 2-to-1, which is pretty damn good. So I ready up here by mistake, thinking that there was some sort of glitch. He's a 10-star silver, and I'm a 10-star bronze. So here we're just sort of waiting, or I'm waiting for him, and he readies up, and I'm going to ready up. So it is on one of the new maps. Well, a map that I actually haven't played on before. So let's see how this goes. So basically the map is just a big hill in the middle. Well, 2 hills that sort of look like an ass. That's like someone's pressing their ass up on a glass pane. Anyway, so yeah, that's what the map is. I'm gonna spawn in the yellow zone. And sadly for me, I think the bow dojo is going to be in the middle. So I'm going to have to secure one of the hills. Now obviously what I was thinking here is that the bigger hill, or the one that's more steep, which is sort of to the right, has more of an incline, and it's going to be to my left as I start. But even though it has more of an incline, because it does go up higher, it will sort of give me a better position. So I do decide to actually push towards the left. And my opponent is playing Fugu-Cook against me, but I'm playing Fugu-Cook against him. So that's not too bad here. Now, if anything, I think one of my biggest weaknesses in Shogun, now that I sort of reflect on all my games, is really my builds. Once I actually get into the fight, my micro seems to be okay. My main issue is, and I'm telling him that running Fugu-Kick isn't cool, but my main issue is that usually I move my units in the right positions, but I either forget to have them charge at something, which is really bad, but usually I don't get caught by a surprise, and when I do, I react quite well in terms of micro. So this is the hill I want to go up on, and I'm going to put my Naginata. I think I put all my units in like one big blob to just try and get them up the hill as soon as I can, and then I'll start to sort of, you know, try to line them up correctly. And I am going to set one of my Yari Cav here in these trees, hopefully sneak them around. That was at least my initial thought process, was that I'd sneak them around and I'd wait for like the fight to happen. And I was just hoping that my opponent was going to go to the other side of the battlefield to grab the key buildings, because I knew that my units were going to have the qualitative edge anyway, so him getting the key buildings wasn't really going to be much of an issue to me, and I can contest the bow dojo anyway from the hill. So I was just hoping that he was going to go for the workshop and ignore the bow dojo, and at least that was going through my mind. So he's ready, I'm ready. He's a pretty cool guy. He did wait for me, and it was a good battle. It was a quite tight battle, so I'm going to select my units and rush them up, and for some reason here my grouping sort of fails, so now I have to just run all my units up here. And you can see I'm running spears first, and then I'm going to select my swords, And then the Naginata attendants back here, and my general. I'm going to keep him over here on the right. I'm going to move one of my Yari Cab units up, and let's take a look at his army. He's got some matchlock units. He's got a lot of Naginata attendants, and actually a Yari Samurai. And he does have some swords here on the right. Now, I was pretty sure that my swords could beat his swords in a 1v1 fight. But my main concern was the matchlocks at this stage, and the nature of this map makes them pretty useless, actually. So I knew that my only hope of winning at this stage, or really a good chance of me winning, would be to sort of try and fight him in the trees. And if I fought him in the trees, then I would nerf the capability of his matchlocks, but I'd also nerf the capability of my warrior monks, who did cost me a lot of money. But we'll see what happens. So he's got some good cav of his own, but his cav isn't going to be too threatening in comparison to my cav. They do have some good upgrades, but so does mine. So we're pretty much on an even leveling, on an even playing field, I'd say. Like, I do have the better swords, and I do have better qualitative spears than him, but you can see he has a huge number advantage. Just by looking at the minimap, you can tell that his line is already looking much wider than my line, and he's already trying to get his cav to go to the back. I don't know why I didn't push deeper into the woods. I probably should have done that, but now that my opponent is sort of still maneuvering, I'm going to take my chance and try to hit him as soon as I can. You can see here I'm going to put a nice front in the trees, and this is going to make it hard for him to sort of react. I'm going to move my Naginata attendants forward with my general, and I was hoping that he didn't spot my cav there. I'm going to move them ahead. I probably should have waited on that just to make sure that he didn't see them. And you can see he's actually putting up a nice line here. And again, I don't want to charge at this stage until they enter the trees. So I'm sort of waiting for his units to come closer to me, because I don't want those matchlocks to be hitting me from the side. And that is the move that I probably should have waited a bit on. I probably should have held my cav there a little bit. And you can see I've got my bows behind the trees here. Whether they were in the trees or not, it wouldn't really make a difference. And now he spots, I think, my cavalry. Yes, indeed he does. And he is starting to move his swords now at this stage. A smart thing that I should have done was to run my own swords down. You can see right now they've stopped moving. One of them has gone into combat, and I do notice this a little late. I probably should have charged them in, and I don't get the charge downhill, so that was a big part of the battle. So I'm going to just keep moving my cav here at the back, and you can see he's moving his own cav. I'm not really too concerned. I've got some Naginata attendants, and I'm actually going to try and pursue or push ward his cav off. And look at this here. I'm going to get a nice charge. He's sort of trying to draw his matchlocks, but I get an excellent charge on one of his units, and I'm using the other Naginatas to sort of ward off his other ones. But look at this. I am completely oblivious of the fact that my other cav just got charged. So while his attention was at the back getting my own cav, my attention was here dealing with his cav. You can see I just realized that my own cav is sort of destroyed. So right now, combat is happening. You can see that my Naginata warrior monks aren't doing too well, but my Katana samurai are actually holding their own, as I expected, sort of taking his units piecemeal over there on the left flank. I do, did I just say Frank? I think I said Frank. They're after Frank! But yeah, I'm gonna move my units here, and hopefully, I'm trying to get a charge with my Yari cav, and you can see here I thought his one spear unit would rout, but sadly they don't. It's like they're wavering, but they don't rout. So my cav charge wasn't very effective, but nonetheless I'm going to continue pressing on this flank, and you can see that my Katana samurai are indeed doing a good job. Of course, my warrior monks now aren't doing too well because they are shooting into the woods. I did try to flame the general. He is shooting into his own men over here. But he does, I think, have a Naginata attendant unit in the midst there, so his units aren't doing too much damage. But still, I don't like those units there. And you can see this is a good moment actually for me to sort of gauge the battle. Unfortunately, he does manage to break through one of my Katana units and is going to start hitting my general. I do see an opening to hit his own general, but he's going to move his backline of spears nicely to cover, and this was another very crucial moment in the battle. His spear units did well. And if I could keep those 11 Yari Cav alive, I would probably get a general charge, but I couldn't do that. They ran away. So at this stage, it's kind of looking really grim for me. My Katana Samurai look like they're doing well, and I don't know why here. I just watch in a minute. His general is at 16, my general is at 13. And look here, I just pull out, and I should not have done that. I pulled out, and both of my Katana units start wavering. If I kept them longer in the fight, one of them was 56 men remaining. They would have been able to play a huge role, but you can see here, I run out to try and save my general, who it's probably going to be too late anyway. He's actually attacking me with a Naginata warrior monk unit, so I'm not really going to be able to do much. His units are tired though at this stage, and so are mine, but at this point I realized that I pretty much have no chance. But that was a really cool close game, and I haven't shown a loss in a while, so I wanted to sort of show you that there are really good players online now, and I'm by far not, a good player. But a good thing that you can take away from this fight is it was a smart idea for me to take the fight to the trees, but at the same time, what I did with my cav there was pretty much horrible micro, at least at the back, where I wasted my cav. But I did some good micro with his cav and sort of came out on top. Yeah, positioning there was on my part, but he did micro excellently to sort of ward off the dangers, and his spears eventually ended up walking out in front because I pulled my katanas out. If I didn't do that, I would have been able to use my katanas to sort of clean up the rest of his units and hopefully use my bows to what they were brought in. So there are bows, big waste of money there, but I don't think they got many kills. Actually, we'll see here in a bit. It's in a last-ditch effort. I'm gonna charge them against this matchlock unit that is actually falling back in the trees, and it's kind of hard to see with all the shrubbery, but I'm trying to run forward and catch that matchlock unit before they get to fight. And you can see my opponent is actually not even facing me at this stage, but he does have his units on the guard mode, which means that even though I do hit him right now, his units will take a little bit more losses, but they will actually still fire. So you can see they're still firing here. And it seems that this is like the sort of build that my opponent has brought. It's sort of like the staple build that most people bring now. Some good spear units, a contingent of swords, a leadership general with some matchlock, and a good cav contingent. It seems to be, the typical sort of thing. But here's the results screen menu. You can see that he had a little bit more men than I did. In terms of the kills, look at my Katana Samurai. Yeah, they were amazing, as were his Naginata warrior monks. His own Katana Samurai did get some good kills, but they were destroyed by mine. Anyway, guys, I hope you enjoyed it. Remember to leave me a likes or favorite if you enjoyed this video. And definitely look forward to Fall of the Samurai, because we are going to be covering that in extreme detail the moment Fall of the Samurai goes out. I'm going to be showing you guys actually a 3v3 done by me, Ban, I think, and Tadashi, and that should be fun. So do look forward for that the moment it releases. I'll try my best to send it out for you guys. Anyway, guys, remember to thumbs up, comment, thumbs up, and subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.